Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. FPL Consult here, and today FPL is back. FPL is back after the international break. Finally, right? I'm sure all of us have been waiting super long. Right, so today is deadline day. 3 hours before the deadline, as usual, we're gonna stream. The plan for now is to stream until the deadline because, as you guys can see on my team lineup here right beside me, I don't have any Spurs players, so that is an issue that we'll need to solve today, whether I want Spurs players or not. And yeah, it's gonna be a long stream, hopefully. Potentially 3 hours, right? But we'll see how it goes. And yeah, thank you guys for joining me early. Those of you already in the chat. Patrick, Ruli's member as well. Philip Marshall as well. Thank you guys for coming early. Right, there's so much to discuss today, and I imagine that it's going to be a lot of questions surrounding Spurs assets, Newcastle assets, etc. And whether you want to captain Son if you have Son, and whether you want to captain Haaland instead. Right, so loads of questions that I expect are going to come in today. So yeah, strap in and hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, so I'll get into my team in a little bit, but I do want to mention a couple of things. So as you guys saw, there has been a couple of changes to the stream layout. During the international break, basically, there was a bit of time, of course, to improve all these things. So the weight screen that you guys saw just now has changed. The layout of the stream right now, the view that you see here also has changed. On the top, there are channel members. In the middle is my team, and on the left as well, I've kind of changed the layout a little bit. So hopefully you guys like this layout. It's a new layout. Hopefully we're gonna keep it this way and see what you guys think about it as well. Right, so let's get into it. Let's get into the questions and say hi to some of you guys in the chat as well who have come early. Tan, AA Ong, Pierre, Keith, Vincent, all of you guys. Nice to see you guys in the chat as well. We're gonna have a long stream today. Hopefully we're gonna make it until deadline, because I will get into my team in a bit, but I have a very tough decision to make whether I want Son or not. I put the decision off until today. There was a slight worry about whether Son would rise in price last night, but thankfully he didn't. So basically, the decision still stays whether I want to get Son or not. Who am I willing to sacrifice? And let me know what you guys would do. Right, I'll get into my team in a bit, but let's talk about your questions. Patrick says, hi, worth doing Foden or Jackson out for Alvarez / Son for a -4. I'm gonna captain Son. I don't think it's worth a -4, right? So I wouldn't take a -4 to do those moves. Yeah, whether or not you're captaining Son. If you take a punt on Maddison as captain, I don't really like Maddison as a captain option as much as I like Son, because Son's goal threat is much better. So yeah, that's my thoughts. If I had Maddison, I wouldn't only Maddison. I would just stick with Haaland captain. Would you start Share, Vardiol, or Cash? I'll probably start Cash. Among all of those. Should I do Martinelli or Foden to Son or Maddison? Feels like a sideways move for me for this week. Philip, I'm in exactly the same position as you. Right? I need to decide who I want to sell for Son if I do bring him in. If I bring in a player, it's definitely going to be Son. And it's who I sell. Right? For now, it's either going to be Foden or Eze. I'm leaning towards selling Foden for a couple of reasons. I'll tinker around with the team in a bit to show you guys why I think Foden is the one that's going to be leaving my team. Potentially, if I do succumb to the Son FOMO, then potentially. Should I replace Sterling with Son? I don't think I would sell Sterling for Son this week. Right, Sterling, Saka, Rashford, Fernandes. I don't think I would sell them for Son. Any news on Saka? Saka is fine. According to the confirmation by Arteta. Keith says, hey Leon, same dilemma here. Not sure to do Eze to Son. Right, so Okay. I'll talk about my transfers in a little bit. Vincent says start Turner or Edison. I would start. Well, in that position, I actually think West Ham gets something, if I'm honest. But I don't think you can bench Edison, right? I mean, City is the best defense in the league, so I probably will start Edison ahead of Turner. Benjamin says, I think Foden will be a minute's risk moving forward. Yeah, potentially, which is one of the reasons why I may do the move, right? I may do it. Ashmit's in the chat as well. Nice to see you, Ashmit. No shot. You're doubling on. Oh yeah. Sorry. I haven't updated this yet. Give me a moment. So for now, I'm not planning to start Colwell. I just haven't updated it yet. The plan is to put Estupinian in for Colwell. I think I had this in my team selection video as well. I think I put Estupinian as well in the team selection video. I just haven't edited it here. Yeah, this looks better now. I will probably start Estupinian ahead of Colwell, right? I do think Dominic Solanke up front is enough to deter me from starting Colwell. So it's probably going to be Estupinian. Potentially, there's another move that I was considering, maybe Colwell to a Newcastle defender, but I think the more urgent or the more aggressive move, I guess, is to go for a Spurs player. Mitoma to Madison or Bruno. If I was selling Mitoma, which I don't mind this week, I would probably sell Mitoma for Madison. Yeah, I wouldn't buy a Manchester United asset. Estupinan hauled away to Arsenal last season. Yeah. In fact, I think Manchester United's defense right now is just in shambles. So I honestly think Estupinan will get an attacking return. I honestly think so. At least it's maybe it's a gut feel kind of thing. Michael says it's a great day. Shall we, Captain Son? Any news on players starting? All right, I'll go into the team leagues in a bit potentially. Right, I'll show you guys. We may. Ruli says, hi bro, Isak or Trippier for Newcastle asset. I wouldn't go anywhere near the Newcastle attackers. Ruli, so I would probably stick with the defense, and of course I think Trippier is one of the better options in defense if you have the money, of course. Do I start Trips over Ben Chilwell? Nah, I wouldn't start Trippier ahead of Ben Chilwell. Honestly, I would start both of them. I'm not sure who you're benching for your other defenders. If Pochettino goes with the back four, either Colwell or Chilwell could get benched. I do foresee with Badiashile coming back as well soon. Maybe Colwell may be phased out of the team. I'm not sure about that. We'll keep a lookout for that. All right. Let's get on with the team news first. Before I talk about the team. So this is Sam C345 on Twitter, and basically he's one of the people that give pretty reliable leaks on Twitter. So what he says, right, is that there may potentially be Manchester United and Tottenham team news potentially, right? So FPL Harry asked pre-FPL deadline, and Sam says I don't know at this moment, right? So potentially we may get it, we may not, right? So I will keep a lookout for that. But my kind of thought process as to whether I'll buy Son or not actually hinges a little bit on whether Richarlison starts or not. So I'll touch a bit on Richarlison. So basically, let's talk FPL. Andy, right, put this tweet out yesterday to say basically an article from the Ange Postecoglou press conference, right? And what he said is, speaking on Richarlison, of course, he said he'll be involved, right? He trained today and he's fine. He looks fine, right? We'll provide all the support he needs, and we'll try and help and sort of guide him to be in a place where he's happy about himself, but he'll be involved tomorrow, absolutely. So this definitely feels like it's going to reduce the amount of time that Son is going to get at the number 9 position, right? So that's also something that playing at the back of my mind, right? How long Son is going to be in that number 9 spot. Potentially he's still on penalties, right? So still a good option. I mean, Sheffield, if he plays 60 minutes up front in the number 9 role and maybe 30 minutes left wing, I still think against Sheffield he probably will get something, right? So those are things currently on my mind right now. But going back to the team, I will have to decide, is he a good enough option? That's the first thing. And do I want to go for him? If I do go for him, will I captain him? For the time being, I don't think I would captain. I know this is unpopular opinion, but I think I will probably not captain him even if I bring him in for a couple of reasons. I still think that Haaland will do pretty well against West Ham, right? So there's a talk about all this low block against Tottenham and all this stuff, right? So in terms of captaincy, whether it's Son or Haaland, I think there's definitely some upside, right, to go against Haaland. But personally, I feel more comfortable, right? Even if I bring Son in for Foden or Eze, I probably will still captain Haaland, right? So if I were to bring Son in, I'll probably remove Foden or Eze, right? So depending on whoever I go for, right, it leaves me different amounts of money left in the bank as well. And moving forward, there are fixtures that I want to avoid, right? So I'll move over to the fixture, to the transfer planner and explain a little bit as to why I think I probably will sell Foden. Okay, so for Game Week 5 here, once again, I hope you guys can see this clearly. Right, okay. So Colwell's on the bench. So this is probably my lineup for Game Week 5, right? And the reason why I think I rather remove Foden is because in Game Week 6 here, Eze has Fulham at home. Granted, Foden has a good fixture as well, right? But the initial plan was to roll the transfer in Game Week 5 already. And then in Game Week 6, I will probably do Colwell to a Newcastle defender. I'll still have 2 free transfers. I'll do Colwell to a Newcastle defender. That leaves me 2 free transfers. Game Week 7, I'll probably do Osula to... Osula is here. I'll probably do Osula to Morris. Right? And then I can bench Eze, who has Manchester United away. Right, so come Game Week 8, when I have these 2 free transfers, the plan is actually to sell Foden, who has Arsenal away, and Saka, who has Man City at home. Sell both of them for Maddison and Son, right, who have great fixtures from Game Week 8, Luton and Fulham. So if I do Foden to Son now, in Game Week 5, right, when I reverse all the way back to Game Week 5, if I do Foden to Son now, it's simply bringing forward a move that I plan to do in Game Week 8. Right. As for Eze and Morris, I kind of explained a little bit as to why I like the Eze and Morris rotation. Right. Eze has Fulham at home. In Game Week 6, I can play him. Game Week 7, I can bench Eze and I'll start Morris, who has a double game week. So for the time being, if I do bring forward that Foden to Son move, I don't think I'll be losing out too much, right, in terms of the plans that I have, or at least the double game week player Morris that I want in Game Week 7 and the rotation with Eze. So that's kind of why I think for the time being I prefer to sell Foden instead of Eze, right? Even though, of course, Man City are the better team and they have the better fixtures. So I think for the time being, if I do sell Foden, right, it'll either be for Son or Maddison, and I think I would lean towards Son if we get any news that he's going to play number 9. If he doesn't play number 9, I mean, if we get any leaks, I may be able to resist it. I don't know, what do you guys think? I'll put a poll out and let's see what you guys think. Would you do Foden to Son? Right, let me know what you guys think. And it's my 1 free transfer, by the way. Right, I've spoken a lot. Let's see what you guys think. I'm sure a couple of you guys are in this position as well. So it'll be interesting to see what you guys think about it. 67% yes for now. Right, I'll get to the questions again. Botman's still the best defender from Newcastle. I still think Trippier for now. But Botman is cheap, so that's why he's not too bad as well. And he's back for Gameweek 5, by the way, so no issues there. Vincent says sell Jackson or Watkins. I would probably be more comfortable to sell Watkins this game week, but a couple of game weeks later that changes, right? When Watkins has that fixture swing, then probably I sell Jackson. So it really depends. If you're talking about now, then I would sell. I prefer to sell Jackson. Sorry, Watkins. I prefer to sell Watkins and keep Jackson. Start 3 cash, White, Chilwell, Udogie, Estupinian. Udogie is a definite. Chilwell as well. So it's for me it comes down to Matty Cash or Estupinian. Right. Maybe Matty Cash. I think I prefer Matty Cash to Estupinian this game week. Sean says don't go for Son, just go for Madison. I mean I just can't ignore the upside though. If he plays number 9, I mean I have Udogie, Ben Chilwell, and Rico Henry. Do I start Trips over any of them? Yeah. I would start Trippier over Rico Henry. Yeah, what am I saying? Ashmin says, what do you think about Fernandes to Son this game week and then Jackson to Højlund in game week 6? I don't think Jackson to Højlund in game week 6 is necessary. I mean, we'll see how he plays, but at least Fernandes to Son this game week. I know FPL Pras did it. I know Pras did this move from Fantasy Football Scout. But I mean, it's definitely chasing the upside here. So I think it's tough. To say. I mean, it depends on whether you have if you really want Son, I'm not going to advise against it because I do see the upside there. Michael says I did Son for Foden funnily enough as wasn't able to do with Sterling. Yeah, I mean budget is one of the things as well. But for me, I have 3.6 million in the bank, so I don't really have issues there. For me, it's more the kind of fixtures that I want to target. Ashmit says Son can easily get a return against Arsenal and Liverpool. Yeah, there's definitely something at the back of my mind as well. But as Postecoglou has said, right, he wants to involve Richarlison more, or at least support him in coming back into the team. So that kind of makes me think that we won't see Son play number 9 for that long. Or moving forward, if Richarlison shows some form, then maybe Son moves back to the left wing. In which case, he becomes less of an FPL asset that I want in my team. Should I do Martinelli to Son? I would be more fine to sell Martinelli than Saka, for sure. I think I would do Martinelli to Son, yep. Michael says I'm playing Jackson over Alvarez. I actually think Alvarez starts though. Right, let me pull up the Man City predicted lineup by Luke. Right, so this is Luke from Fantasy Football Scout as well, and this is the predicted lineup for this week. But a couple of caveats here. Luke says one of Akanji /Ake /Vardiol will miss out. Right, it's all guesswork for that one, and one of Nunes or Doku would play. Right, so he also adds that Silva would be the pivot if Nunes doesn't start. Doku and Foden left wing and right wing respectively, right? It could interchange. So potentially this is what we'll see from Man City, right? Of course, Haaland up top. I do think Foden and Alvarez are pretty nailed, right? Probably 95%, right, to start. Silva, because Kovacic is out, I do expect Silva to start as well. Walker is pretty much standard. Rodri as well. Ruben Diaz is for sure. So one of Vardiol, Ake and Akanji, as you mentioned, will miss out. So in terms of not starting Alvarez, I don't think I would advise doing that, right? Especially the way he links up with Haaland now. I do like that kind of partnership. He's been doing pretty well as well, right? So I wouldn't be so comfortable to bench Alvarez. Really says Spurs asset can score more than City. West Ham can beat City tonight. I mean, for sure, Spurs has the better fixtures, right? So that's kind of the reason why I'm just thinking whether Foden to Son would pay off in the long run, because I don't really like making moves for just one particular game week. I usually like to make moves for the next couple of game weeks. But if I bring Son in, it's mainly for this Sheffield at home game. Sure, against Arsenal and against Liverpool, there may be returns for him, but they are tougher fixtures, right? They are tougher fixtures. Leno's still the best GK for save points. The thing with Leno is I don't really like Leno as a pick. Like, I'm not sure why a lot of people are going for Leno, but I don't really like... I mean, Fulham have just been conceding one of the highest expected goals conceded per 90 out of all the teams in the Premier League. So that's not like... that's not fantastic at all for Fulham's numbers. So clean sheets wise, I mean, for me, I just rather go for a keeper with a higher potential of clean sheet, right? Like, save points for sure is important. Save points for sure is important, but I just feel like I'd rather go for a keeper with better clean sheet potential, you know? Jackson or Jesus. If you're on wild card, I actually don't mind Jesus at all, right? If you're on a wild card, I don't mind Jesus at all. Salah will be scary going forward. If I was wildcarding this week, I will have Salah, right? I think I put up a updated wildcard draft earlier this week, I think, right? And Salah was in the team, so I do like Salah. Ali says, I was the guy who said I'll captain in Buemo game week 4. Luckily, I changed to Haaland last minute. Well, thankfully you did. Thankfully you did. Man's got a hat trick. Alright, let me put up my team again. Okay. Right. Alvarez is more nailed than Foden. I think both of them are minutes risks. Right? Both of them, moving forward, you're going to remove either of them soon. Sterling to Diaby. Nah. I wouldn't do Sterling to Diaby. Not this week at least. Odegaard to Son. Odegaard to Son, I don't mind. Right? Odegaard to Son. Martinelli to Son. I don't mind all these things. Orin says Salah for wildcarders makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, getting ahead of the curve there. Davies family, thank you very much for the super chat. 2 free transfers, Baldock to Trips and Roll, or Baldock to Share and Foden to Son. Baldock is probably injured, right, based on latest news. So I think I like Foden to Son this game week, at least in this combination of transfers that you're talking about. I don't mind it at all, right? So for your case, I would probably do Baldock to Share and Foden to Son, right? But as I mentioned, the second one is such a headache, even for me, right? I will probably cut it very close and make my decision very, very close to the deadline. I will probably stream until the deadline today, and we'll see whether I make that move. But for your case, I do prefer Share if he allows you to do Foden to Son. Pierre says, what to do with Richarlison? Do I bring him in? Or do I bring Son in for him? 3.5 to the bank. I think Richarlison to Son is straightforward enough. That one is definitely a move I would make. Ben Williams says start 2 of Jackson, Eze and Watkins. Whew. For the fixtures, I have to start Jackson. So it's between Eze and Watkins. Maybe I start Watkins because he's at home, right? And I probably bench Eze for your case. Jackson is such a headache. I mean, exactly, man. Let's take a look at the poll. 55%, 54% of you guys would do the move. You would do Foden to Son. Alright, that's interesting. That is interesting. I mean, it's definitely a move that I think I will end up entertaining, right? So let's see is whether I can resist it. I've kind of resisted it for like 10 over days for the international break already. And at first, when there were the rumors about Son getting injured, etc., I thought I was like, okay, I'm gonna be saved from making this tough decision, but seems like it's still a headache. Having a bit of a sore throat. Let me get some lozenges. Right. Okay. Chen says 0.9 in the bank. Bruno, Sterling, Mbeumo, Saka, and Salah. Would you swap any of them to Son? And if yes, whom? Salah, no. Saka, I wouldn't. Mbeumo, I wouldn't as well. Sterling, I would keep all your midfielders. I wouldn't swap any of them to Son. Bertrand says, I'm looking to bring in Mbeumo, Saliba, Udogi, Alvarez, Archer. Well, so many transfers. For Jackson, Hendry, Pedro, Mitoma, Colwell. No, I don't think those transfers actually deserve a wildcard. I think some of those transfers can be delayed as well. Heath says, sell Eze or Martinelli for Son. I would prefer to sell... I prefer to keep Martinelli in your case, Keith. But it really depends on the long-term transfers as well. As I showed you just now, there's a reason why I'm keeping Eze. Even though, of course, Eze may not be as good as an asset. But it's kind of the fixture rotation moving forward that makes me want to keep Eze. Hazwan says, keep Diaby or bring Son/Mbeumo in. Already have Madison. I think if you have Diaby, it's kind of ahead of the curve. If I wildcarded this week, I would have Salah, I would have Diaby in my team. Alright, let me put up a... I actually have the my latest wildcard team right here, okay. So if I was going to wildcard in Gameweek 5, this would be the team I would wildcard with. I would have Salah and I would have Diaby. I wouldn't have Son, right? I'll be captaining Haaland here. And then, yeah, this is basically the wildcard draft that I would go with. So, I think Diaby and Salah are players slightly ahead of the curve. So I wouldn't sell Diaby. If you already have Madison especially, I think it's fine. Jackson to Alvarez, is it worth it? Nah. Because moving forward, Alvarez is going to be a minutes risk. So I wouldn't do Jackson to Alvarez. Start Sterling or Diaby. I mean, I can't see myself benching Sterling against Bournemouth. I probably would start Sterling. Would you start Eze or Estupinian? I prefer Eze over Estupinian, of course. The fixtures. Bertrand says, alright, yeah, this one's answered. Nice, Owen fixed his chat. Mustafa says, thoughts on Madison as captain. I don't really like Madison as a captain. I prefer Son. So it's either Son or Haaland for me this game week. JRT Express says Saka to Son or Rashford to Son. I prefer Saka to Son. Ali says, should I sell Saliba for Trippier? Um, the thing is, Saliba's fixtures is better now, so I don't think you need to make that move now. I think you can delay it till next game week. Captain Madison, I wouldn't Captain Madison. Will Foden start? I think Foden will start. Is it worth to trade Zinchenko to Udogi if I don't have any free transfers left? I don't think it's a move that you need to make, right? Especially since Udogi are gonna bench him in game week 6 and game week 7. Yeah. Orwin says, hot take, I don't mind the Madison captain shout. Fair enough, fair enough. What's the news on Saka? So Saka is fine. I can find the quote. Give me a moment. I'll find the quote. But I think Arteta basically said it's just a niggle, so he'll be fine. Right. Yeah, so Bukayo Saka is fine and has trained normally. There's nothing to report. Every player has pain or issues, but there's nothing to worry, right? So this is exactly what Arteta said in his press conference. So I don't think Saka, there'll be any issues with him at all. Play Cash or Mbuemo? I prefer Cash over Mbuemo. I actually think having Mbuemo this game week may not be the best, right? I actually favor Newcastle to do pretty well. Money is less of an issue this season, so there's no stress with early transfers. I mean, the thing about early transfers is just basically during the international break, do they get injured, you know? Best goalkeeper, I have Ederson and Turner. If you have Ederson and Turner, I will start Ederson. I have one free transfer and 1.2 million in the bank. What move do I make? Could actually roll. You could actually roll that team. Santar says, bench one from this list, Mbuemo, Watkins, Jackson, Foden, Rashford. Easy. This one is Mbuemo. Son or Madison as captain? I prefer Son. I personally don't really like the Madison captaincy shout, but I know some of you guys do like it. Some of you guys don't mind Madison as a captaincy shout. It's just between Son or Haaland for me this game week, basically. Nick says, should I hold Watkins or go for another striker, Alvarez or Darwin? Honestly, if I was going for a striker this game week, I don't mind Gabriel Jesus. If you can afford Gabriel Jesus, I don't mind it. Alvarez, I think he'll be a minute's risk moving forward. Darwin, we don't really know 100% if he's fit back from the international break. So sell Rashford or Bruno for Son. This one is really, really tough. I actually want to keep both of them if I were in the opposition. But I think I would be more comfortable to sell Bruno. I will probably sell Bruno for Son if I have to choose one. Odegaard to Son or rolling? I will do Odegaard to Son, yeah. Start Estupinian or Saliba? I will start Saliba if I had Saliba. Start Eze or Mbuemo? I would start Mbuemo ahead of Eze. I just have to start both of them. Luka Dean or Estupinian, Luka Dean. Sell Umbremo game week 8. Game week, I would still keep Umbremo. Right. My plan for now is to wildcard in game week 10. So I'm probably gonna dead end my team until game week 9. Most of my transfers are gonna try and be quite aggressive until game week 10 when I have to wildcard. Which is why I think I have the liberty to do Foden to Son this week if I really want to. Right. I think there is definitely a consideration to be made. I'm just delaying my decision until the deadline. Should I play Zinchenko or Pedro since I got the feeling that Arsenal won't get the clean sheet and Pedro will start from the bench? I will probably start Zinchenko. I honestly think João Pedro may not start. Right, I'm with you on that one. Bench one of Chilwell, Gusto, Shah, or Estupinian. If I had Gusto though, I think I would start Gusto because Reece James is not going to be back probably until the next international break. So Chilwell and Gusto for attacking threat, and then I would go for Fabian Shah. So I'll probably bench Estupinian in your position. Salah or Soboslai, definitely Salah. Pedro to Højlund for a -4? Nah, I wouldn't do that. Especially this game week. I think I'll wait a while. Best defender to bring in for the upcoming game weeks. Want to bench Colwell and you have Baldock. It'll definitely be a Newcastle defender. It's just who. So depending on your budget, there's Fabian Schär, there's Trippier. But you do have to take note that there potentially is going to be rotation for them. Right, so take note of the rotation there. Should I bring in Son this week or after the 2 upcoming tough fixtures? That's exactly the predicament, right? That's exactly the predicament. At first, I was not gonna bring Son in, but I have to admit the FOMO is coming in. The FOMO is definitely coming in. Captaincy will probably still stay on Haaland, right? Even if I bring Son in. For me, it's just a question of whether I bring Son in for Foden or not. My captain will still be Haaland. And there's also something to think about, right? If Son doesn't do well against Sheffield United, I'm stuck with him for his Arsenal fixture and his Liverpool fixture. Right? So granted he could do well in that, but those are difficult fixtures. So would I prefer Foden for those 2 game weeks? For sure. Right. Take a -12 or use the wild card. I think -12 is probably the maximum that I think I would wild card if I was on a -12, but it really depends on your team. Pedro to Alvarez. A lot of people going for Alvarez this game week though, but I think moving forward, the Champions League is going to come in. There's going to be a time when Alvarez is going to be rested. He's not going to play every single game. Like, in fact, I think a benching is coming soon for Alvarez. So I don't think I would be so confident of buying Alvarez. If Pedro scores a brace this week, is it worth holding him or swap with Morris for game week 7? I mean, in game week, you could keep him in game week 6 because he plays Bournemouth. And then you could go for Morris after that. Wait, let me check. If I'm not wrong, Estupinian has Bournemouth in game week 6. So yeah, you could just keep João Pedro. Cash or Aurier? Has to be Cash. Who's rotating with Trippier? Livramento. Livramento is the one that potentially will rotate with Trippier. He's a decent backup, to be honest. Like, I can definitely see. Let me just pull up the Newcastle fixtures, but I can definitely see Trippier getting rested for at least one of those fixtures. Right. So we're here now. Newcastle versus Brentford. We're on this one here. They have AC Milan midweek. The week after they have Sheffield United. After that it's Newcastle versus Man City in the EFL Cup. Right. So it also depends. I guess the kind of teams that they're going to field in the EFL Cup, because as always we could see massive rotation there, whether or not the team, but I do expect Newcastle to field a pretty strong team. Then they have Burnley in the Premier League, and then PSG in the Champions League, and so it's like, honestly, it's a very, very crazy fixture run. And every midweek they have games. So I don't think Trippier is going to play every single game. I just don't see it, even though he is very important. For sure, I think Livramento plays at least one, and it's kind of which one as well. Which Luton defender to bring in? I wouldn't bring Luton defenders in, if I'm honest. GV says Reese Burke. Kabori has had a benching in Gameweek 4 though. I probably wouldn't go for Kabori, even though he's on my bench. Should I go for Ewoni? I don't mind Ewoni. His stats are pretty good as well. Hasn't blanked since, I think, Gameweek 35. Ewoni for Alvarez, I probably wouldn't do Ewoni for Alvarez. I think, especially this game week, but later on maybe. Similar dilemma to you. Should I do Martinelli to Son for a -4? For a -4, I think it gets a little bit different. Right, I have one free transfer basically, so I just have to decide whether it's worth it or not. I'm probably leaning towards it right now. 55% of you guys saying yes as well. Thing is, I'm not going to captain him though. So I think that I should have added that, but that may change a couple of opinions. Ashmit says, great stream as always. Thank you very much. All the best for this game week. Gotta go for my classes. Yes, please go for your classes. Foden to Szoboszlai or roll. Can't get Son in one move as I have 3 Spurs already, but I see this West Ham game being tough for City in my opinion. Foden to Szoboszlai, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do Szoboszlai. You're better off just rolling, I guess. Request all in the stream to press like. Yeah, if you guys haven't liked the stream yet, please do like the stream so that it can reach more people. Keep or sell Watkins. He's fine to keep, honestly speaking. It would feel like a luxury transfer if you take him out. And there's not many great striker options as well. Bench Estupinian for Udogi. I will bring in Udogi if that's a yes. I will probably do it. I'll probably bench Estupinian for Udogi. Jesus plus Archer or Alvarez plus Morris. Oof. Maybe Alvarez plus Morris actually. Maybe Alvarez plus Morris. Estupinian or Henry for a start. I would start Estupinian. Triple captain in Buemo, definitely not. Definitely not. Definitely not. Oren says, do you think Mbeumo makes sense for those wildcarding? I feel like there are more options now. Yeah, I wouldn't have Mbeumo in my team if I was wildcarding. I think I have the wildcard team as well. Yeah, I would have Diaby. I wouldn't have Mbeumo if you're wildcarding. Diaby and Salah in this team are players that I would have if you're wildcarding to get ahead of the curve. Because moving forward from game week game week 10 onwards, you're going to want Salah. You want that Liverpool fixture run. Aston Villa all the way until game week 19 after they have tougher fixtures in game week 6 and 7. Right, Aston Villa look really good. So that's where you want Diaby as well. Madison, as always, for this Sheffield game, and then in game week 8, Luton, game week 9, Fulham as well. Saka and Fernandes, I think straightforward enough, right? So this is probably gonna be the wildcard team that I go with if I was wildcarding. Which second forward would you bring in? Budget is not an issue. For now, I think my favorite second striker option would be Gabriel Jesus actually. Right, it wouldn't be Jackson, it wouldn't be Watkins, not even Alvarez actually. I think I would go for Jesus. Do you think Estupinian starts? I do think so. Deserbi did mention that that long travels back from the international break whatsoever. But once again, we saw last season he spoke about it, and then Estupinian started. Right, so this was like a fake scare, I guess. Andreas punt? Nah. No way. I'd rather punt on a Spurs asset this game week at least. Luton have a double game week already. Morris to start. I mean, Morris is a nailed 90-minute player, so he definitely starts. But I wouldn't start him this game week over the other assets that we already have. Still didn't get the Bruno shout over Rashford. Is it because of the price? The thing is I would sell Bruno ahead of Rashford. So Steve-O, good morning. We're early today. Cash or Romero? I don't really like Romero, I'll be honest. Probably Matty Cash. I want to try... Cash also puts you ahead of the curve, right? As I mentioned about Aston Villa's fixtures. I want to transfer Baldock, still have 1 million in the bank. Any recommendations for long term? You could go for Fabian Shah, 5 million. You could go for Botman if you want cheaper. Right, I don't mind Newcastle defenders basically. What about Ewoni as a second striker? I don't mind Ewoni, but I think he's someone that will be a transfer out sooner rather than later. So with players like Jesus, you can actually keep him through tougher fixtures. Alvarez is just the minutes for me. Darwin, same as well. Jackson, soon you're going to transfer him out. So Jesus is actually the only one I think I keep long term. Potentially Morris, but the thing with Morris is he's also a transfer waiting to happen. So if it's a long-term second striker, it will have to be Jesus for me. Villa Bella's fixtures, then Arsenal still, yep, for sure. From game week 8 onwards, actually, Aston Villa are actually quite high up the fixture ticker. Right, let's take a look at the fixtures. So let's do game week 6 then, or game week 5 since we are now in game week 5, and some of you guys are thinking about Aston Villa assets. The point is that they are really, really high. Okay, ignore Luton and Burnley at least, right? Let's say game week 5 to game week 12 range, right? To give us a little bit longer of a time horizon. Luton is really high because they have the game week 7 double, but if not, it's Aston Villa already, right? Crystal Palace here. Game week 6, Chelsea away. Game week 7, Brighton at home. Both of them not super easy, but after that it gets a lot better, right? Wolves away, West Ham at home, Luton at home, Nottingham Forest away, Fulham at home. Aston Villa is just one of those teams that you have to target sooner rather than later at least. Which is kind of why I have two Aston Villa players in the wildcard draft that I've gone with. Sooner rather than later, we're gonna want their assets basically. Keaton says, Estupinian, Porro, Henry, Anderson, which three to start, or should I take a hit for a punt? I think you can just start Porro, Anderson, and Estupinian. Rico Henry against Newcastle, I think you can easily bench him. Best replacement for Obama from West Ham. I think you mean Mubama. Morris probably. If you have 1 million in the bank, Morris. Arvin says the most interesting options now are the goalkeepers. Not a lot of options. Goalkeeper transfers, honestly, I'm not a fan of them at all. If I was to buy a goalkeeper now, it will probably be Emi Martinez. Right? I mean, okay, the fixtures are right here. They speak for themselves. So I'll probably go for an Aston Villa keeper if I was to buy a keeper now. Elfie, play Gusto or Estupinian. I will play Gusto. I'm captaining Salah this week though. I think that's more reasonable than Mbeumo. Ali with the captaincy shouts again. You could captain Salah. I don't think that's a bad shout. It's definitely more reasonable than Mbeumo, of course. What to do having John Stone and Turner? I think you start Turner this week then. DRB Game Week 8 for Mbeumo maybe. Yeah, that's definitely I think it'll be a very popular transfer, what you just mentioned. Arsenal haven't won against Everton in the last 5 games, both home and away. Yeah, I've seen this one. Maybe that's why some people are okay to sell Saka. Oren says Pope is my goalkeeper shout. Yeah, I don't mind him as well. He's at least one of the more nailed picks, right? Because they don't really rotate the keepers. If they rotate the defenders. So play Estupinian or Nketiah. I honestly think Jesus starts his game week. I mean, it's just a gut feel. Probably will start Nketiah. Estupinian. Then I'll bench Nketiah. Harith says, I believe in Mbeumo. Morning, Jintao says, Turner, Chilwell, Saliba, Udogi, Rashford, Saka, Bruno, Sterling, Mbeumo, Jackson, Haaland. This is a pretty template team. Probably roll then. I know it will probably be quite scary to go without Spurs options, but if you guys are open to the idea, which I think there are a couple of teams I've seen going without Spurs assets, if you're comfortable enough with that, you could do it. I'm still debating. I'll probably put it really close to the deadline. Let's see. I just can't decide. If I can decide my moves a bit earlier, I would have already made my moves and then we end the stream. It's been an hour, but I think today I will take a bit more time. And I do want to make my transfers on the stream and confirm the captaincy as well. So let's stream until I make a decision. Hopefully we get some team news. Probably will be for Liverpool though. Not sure how helpful that one is. Kenneth says, are you from Singapore? Yep, I am from Singapore. Steve says, will you not start Colwell over Estupinian? More clean sheet potential. I honestly think that Bournemouth will get something. I'm a Chelsea fan. I would start both, but I think for attacking potential, I just have to go for Estupinian. If I start Colwell, this was the same logic last week that a couple of you guys put to me as well. If I start Colwell and he gets a clean sheet, that's 6 points. If I start Estupinian, even if he doesn't get a clean sheet, if he gets 1 assist, that's pretty much already level with Colwell. Then you add the extra chance of maybe a clean sheet. The ceiling is so much higher for Estupinian. So worst case scenario, I lose 4 points out if Estupinian blanks and Colwell has 6 points. Best case scenario is Estupinian hauls. So I think I will go for the upside this week. Last week I was sweating. Last week I started Colwell, Nottingham Forest scored, clean sheet gone for Chelsea, and Callum Wilson only scored in I think the 89th minute or something. So honestly, that goal kind of made my day, right? Because Estupinian was sitting on my bench. This week I think I'll go with Estupinian. Two free transfers, Turner and Johnstone. Which keeper would you go for longer term? It's either Emi Martinez or Nick Pope. It's one or the other. Do I play Antonio versus Man City? I don't think I would do that. But it really depends who you're benching as well, right? Who as a back three? Estupinian, Udogi, Chilwell, and Gusto. In that case, I would bench Estupinian. The thing is, Gusto has greater attacking threat than Colwell, so I think it's a bit different. Captain Son or Haaland? Even if I had both of them, I would still captain Haaland, right? There's definitely some upside, so I'm not going to advise you guys against captaining Son, right? Especially those of you guys who prefer to play the game chasing the upside. Then there's definitely a case to captain Son, but the way I play it, I would just captain Haaland until maybe game week 9 when game week 8 when Saka plays Arsenal plays City. Yeah, game week 8 Arsenal plays City. That's when I will potentially captain someone else other than Haaland. Is Nunes risky this week? I think Darwin Nunes is a little bit risky this week. Not 100% sure if he is fit. Sean says, I have Odegaard since the start and he has served me well so far. He has been ticking along though. He has been ticking along. Daniel says, plan a wildcard either game week 9 or 10. I'm looking for a second forward for week 5 to 8/9. Budget is not an issue. Let's take a look. Game week 5 to 9. Honestly speaking, game week 5 to 9, if you have to start this player every week, Luton actually has the best fixtures from game week 8 to 9. So game week 5 to 8 or 9. So he's definitely someone you can consider. I wouldn't go Alvarez. I honestly, the forward options are just not that great this season, to be fair. Darwin plus Odegaard or Jesus plus Madison, or 100% Jesus plus Madison, 100%. Yeah, Erwin says it as well. Like the stream, if you guys are watching and you haven't liked the stream yet, please do like the stream and also subscribe as well. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. We may hit it today. We may hit 5,000 subscribers today. I'm not sure if we will, but we can try. So if any of you guys are watching and you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. That will make my day. Have a -4 for Mitoma to Son. Is it worth it? I wouldn't take a -4 to bring Son in. Would you captain Madison over Haaland? I wouldn't captain Madison over Haaland this week. Gopa says, are you sure Turner starts this week? That one is definitely a gamble, but I think he still keeps his spot. I don't see why he would immediately get benched, especially since he just kept a clean sheet against Chelsea. Would you play Anderson or Estupinian? Anderson. I would play Anderson, Joachim Anderson or Anderson from Luton Town? I'll play Estupinian if you're talking about Joachim Anderson. I don't think Crystal Palace keeps a clean sheet against Aston Villa, in which case I'd rather just play Estupinian. Haaland will score against Arsenal. There's every chance, right? There's every chance. Yeah, Owen says road to 5k, guys. Right, would I do Foden? What the poll that I put out, whether I should do Foden to Son? 52. Well, you guys are really, really helpful. 51% of you guys would do it. 49% of you guys wouldn't do it. Thing is, Foden's fixtures are good, but I do think he may get benched soon, right? Because Champions League is coming in. Game week 6, he has Nottingham Forest. Game week 7, he has Wolves away. I definitely feel like those are fixtures he could haul in. But does he start those games? Right? There's also some. Son would definitely start if I have Son. He would definitely start against Arsenal. He would definitely start against Liverpool. Feels like I'm talking myself into buying Son. Michael says Anderson from Palace. Then I would bench Anderson from Palace. I would start Estupinian. The Son FOMO is at an all-time high. Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel... Alright, let's see how I feel about it. Let's put him in and let's see how I feel about it. Let's see how I feel about it. I have to admit it does feel good. It does feel good to have Son. Thoughts on Udogi for Colwell? Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that at all. Saint Ledger just says just voted Foden. Foden is more important for today's game week in the absence of Grealish, but he's probably going to play left wing, right? He's probably going to play left wing. He's not going to play central. Does he take shots? Is he better in left wing or is he better up front? Would you do Foden to Madison? I wouldn't. If I would do I prefer Son, right? But if budget is an issue, Madison to Foden is definitely not as good as Madison to Son. Would I do Foden to Madison? I mean, I haven't even decided if I want to do Foden to Son. I probably wouldn't do Foden to Madison. Son is just because he's more explosive. That's kind of why there's a decision to make. Gusto or Saliba to start? I will start Gusto. Oren says, here's the thing. If you had Madison going without Son was fine, but since you don't, I think you need to have a Spurs asset against Sheffield United. I mean, that's the thinking as well, right? That's the thinking where I need to have some Spurs coverage. I feel like I may end up just doing it though. I don't know. I resisted 10 days already. I don't know whether I can do anymore. Mark Cassidy says, can you do Eze to Son? I can, but I think I prefer Foden to Son, because Foden to Son is a move that I would make in game week 8, regardless of whether I regardless of whether I roll the transfer now or I do a transfer. I will still do Foden to Son come game week 8. So it's just moving the transfer forward. Eze and Morris, who I plan to bring in later on, they rotate pretty well as well. So that's why I prefer to sell Foden ahead of Eze. Yeah, left wing is what I feel his position would be for this game week. I agree with that, GV. So if he's on the wing, he's less central. He probably wouldn't be that central to the attack, right? Ramak says Gabriel or Estupinian. This one is tough. Would you start a Brighton player? Would you start an Arsenal defender, whether it's Gabriel or Saliba, or would you start Estupinian? I think I would start the Arsenal defender. Right? And Gabriel, of course, is probably that he's gonna start. Right? Partey's still out, so I probably start Gabriel ahead of Estupinian. Afternoon, Andreas. Bench one, Vardiol, Chilwell, or Cash. I would definitely start Chilwell. I like Cash for attacking output as well. So I'll probably bench Vardiol as weird as that sounds. Shah or Botman for Caldwell, planning ahead for game week 6. I prefer Shah, right? He has greater attacking threat if budget is not an issue. Right? I think both of them give similar things in terms of clean sheets, but Shah just has that slight greater attacking threat. Oren says, I would do it, my luck has been good, trust. I'll probably end up doing it though. I just have to convince myself that it's worth doing. Still a bit of time to do the move. Ara says, hope it's a good game week for everyone. Yeah, Richarlison to Gordon. Ooh. Probably wouldn't do that though. Richarlison to Madison or Son maybe. If it was me, I would keep Foden, but there's big upside for going for Son given how nailed he is, especially with Champions League around the corner. Exactly. Which I think potentially we may see Foden being benched. In which case, then that's just gonna backfire. Right, so that will just backfire. Vignesh says, I've only got one free transfer to knee-jerk on Son by removing Saka/Sterling or Roll. I wouldn't sell Sterling. Saka to Son is a question of whether you think Saka versus Son over the next 3 game weeks, whether Saka will outscore Son. I think it comes pretty close, to be honest. I think it'll come pretty close. Enzo or Soboslai? Neither though. But if you're starting, I'll probably start. GV says Enzo. I prefer Soboslai, honestly. I think he has greater goal threat. Man. Haven't made the transfer yet though. There's just some inertia that I'm feeling about making the move. I just don't feel like it's 100% necessary. 51%, 49%. I mean, that is exactly how tough this decision is. It's just Matt says Mitoma's gone cold, right? If you can bench him this game week, in fact, against Manchester United, you could very well just play him, given how poor Manchester United are. But there's every chance that you can sell Mitoma this game week, right? There are a couple of people selling Mitoma. I don't mind it at all. Pope or Leno, who should I buy? I prefer Pope for sure. Which defender is good for Game Week 5? Udogi. I like Udogi. I think he does pretty well. Chilwell, as per usual. You could go for Trippier. Pope or Leno. Who should be my wildcard team with Shah in my team? Whether or not you have Shah, I still think Pope is a better keeper than Leno. There's Martinez as well. Emi Martinez. He's not too bad as well. Right, let's take a look if there's any leaks for the time being. Currently no leaks. So yeah, there's no leaks at the moment, right? If there's any leaks, I'll update you guys. Potentially if I stream until the deadline. I just need to decide whether I think it's worth it to do Foden to Son. Let's see. Alright, I think if we get news that Richarlison doesn't start, I think I have to do the move. I think I would probably just do it. FPL Man United says 3-4-3 or 3-5-2. I've got Alvarez, Jackson, Haaland, Eze, Foden, Rashford, and Mbeumo and Saka. I think you can bench Eze. I think you can bench Eze. In which case it'd be a 3-4-3 then. Pedro to Jesus / Ewan / Watkins. I actually think in that order. Jesus, Ewan Watkins. GV says Sonaldo, Scott Son for Rashford, Pras, LR, all doing the same. Get Son for either Bruno or Rashford. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's more. I'm just thinking whether I want the player. No, I'm definitely aware a lot of people are bringing him in. It's just a question of over the next 3 game weeks. Does Foden start all? Son definitely starts all. Over the next 3 game weeks, will Foden start all? And what's the role he's going to play compared to Son? Son is going to play number 9. Is Son going to play number 9 the whole way? Yeah. Score prediction. Lauren says score predictions for Bournemouth and Chelsea. I actually think Chelsea will bounce back. I do think Chelsea will bounce back, but I think we concede as well. So that's why Colwell's on the bench. Hammers away is tough for City. Go for Son, mate. Yeah, I think maybe I just make the transfer and just get it over and done with, you know. Foden to Diaby, I wouldn't do that this game week. With the City games still being good, I don't think there'll be a good time to get rid of him in the next 3. There's big upside getting Son now, though. You might have convinced me to ditch Foden. Ali says, I think bringing in Son for Foden will be a good move considering they have great fixtures. He'll be number 9 for the near future because of Richarlison's recent psychological issues. Paul O'Keefe from Spurs, a correspondent for Spurs, basically just says that it's predominantly going to be Son at number 9. So Kavit says 1-1 Chelsea Bournemouth. Are we sure about that? Ali says plus Son is always guaranteed 90 minutes. He's not guaranteed. We've seen him come off a couple of times, about 70 something minutes this season. GV undecided as well. Tough. Archer is Tupinian who to start. Probably Estupinian. I mean, I wouldn't start a Sheffield United player this game week. No leaks yet at all, right? So I'll let you guys know. I'm just checking to see if Richarlison starts. If Richarlison doesn't start, Son starts at number 9. So basically, I mean, there's no guarantee we get team leaks as well, right? We probably just get for the Liverpool game. I have Matters and 2 free transfers, 0.8 in the bank. Foden in place of Mbuemo. I mean, covered. I'll need to know your whole team. GV says Chelsea will win. Ryan says, is Alvarez worth bringing in on a wild card or will he be rotated? If I'm on a wild card, Ryan, I wouldn't bring Alvarez in. Okave's a Chelsea fan as well. We can't score more than 1 goal then, it seems. Saliba or to Trippier or Pickford to Pope in case Turner doesn't start. It seems like you have 2 free transfers for this one. Saliba to Trippier is definitely a transfer that can wait till game week 6. So probably Pickford to Pope then, in your case. Would you start Pope on the bench though? Would you put him on the bench and put Turner in your starting 11? Yeah, I mean, Saint Ledger, I completely agree. I'm just gonna wait for some leaks and then decide on the moves. But I think I'm 70-30. I'm 70-30. Still no leaks though. Right, so we'll keep you guys updated. Yes, Pope on the bench. Alright, if you're fine to bench Pope, by all means. If Jackson blanks this week, should I give up on him? I mean, there's no good game week to let go of Jackson, if I'm honest. Like, next week he has Aston Villa, he has Fulham the week after, Burnley the week after. There's literally no good game week to let go of Jackson. So honestly, it's just a matter of whether you're patient enough, right, to wait for his haul, because I think it will come. It's just when. Okay. Kavit says Pickford, Turner, Chilwell, Saliba, Udogi, Kabore, Estupinian, Saka, Foden, Rashford, Bruno, Maddis, Jackson, Haaland, Archer. 2 free transfers, 0.8 in the bank. Your backline's fine. Saka, Foden, Rashford, Bruno, Maddis. Wow, this is you're in a position where you can do a keeper transfer, if I'm honest. Or maybe Archer to Morris, potentially. Right, if not, I think maybe Pickford to Pope, Pickford to Martinez. A lot of people will be in your position, I would expect. There's literally no clear and obvious move for you to make. Arun says, can't let go of Chelsea assets till game week 9. I mean, as I said, right, I don't think there's a good game week to let go of them. So honestly, I think we just keep Jackson, right? We just keep him. In fact, now I feel like it's a bit better to have Jackson over Sterling. At this, obviously, a couple of game weeks ago, it would have been good to have Sterling, but I think it frees up a midfield spot. You still cover the Chelsea attack if you want to target the fixtures, and then frees up your midfield spots then. Kodak says, what are your thoughts on Jesus/Nunes as a short-term punt? I prefer Jesus over Nunes. Because Nunes is just, we just don't know whether he's going to start, right? We just don't know. Do I make the move and just get it over and done with though? Man, this is tough. I mean, if you look at Son's numbers though, it hasn't been outstanding, right? It hasn't been outstanding before Burnley, but he was playing in a different position, that's the thing. Right, 1.1 expected goal involvement against Burnley. Before that, 0.13 against Brentford. Not great numbers at all, that one. 0.51 against Manchester United. 0.34 against Bournemouth. Right, so if he didn't score 3 goals, so before that, no goals, no assists whatsoever. And then he scores 3 goals against Burnley and everyone is talking about him. It just reminds me of last season though, when he scored against Leicester. He came on in a 70-something minute, scored against Leicester, and then he disappeared again after that. Like, it's just playing in my head whether it's just going to be another situation like that. Zuma will neutralize Haaland. I'm captaining Matters. Fair enough though. I wouldn't advise against captaining someone else again other than Haaland if you guys feel like that's what you want to do. I think it's fine. Let's see what the poll is telling us. 200 votes, 52% would do it, 48% wouldn't do it. Yeah, I mean, exactly, right? Exactly. Sheffield may just go for the low block. They go for the low block and then basically Tottenham don't score as many. Right, there's every chance that can happen. There's every chance. And then I'll just look like a fool bringing Son in for Foden then. It's definitely an easier move to make than doing Bruno Fernandes to Son. I think that one has greater potential to backfire. So if I had Bruno Fernandes, I think I definitely wouldn't sell Fernandes for Son. I'm sure other people are doing it, but I can't see myself doing that. Foden to Son is slightly more doable. So I'm only chasing upside right now. I was considering Rashford to Son and back to Rashford. Nah. I wouldn't do the hokey cokey though. I wouldn't do that. Gabriel to Udogi or Cash or Shah or Roll. Udogi, you probably bench him in 6 and 7 though. So you gotta see who you prefer. Cash, you might want to bench in 6 and 7 as well. If I was bringing in a defender this week, it would probably be Fabian Shah. But I honestly think you can start Gabriel in this game week. I think he'll start against Everton. I think clean sheet potential is alright. Arsenal struggle away from home against Everton. So Given all the injuries in Man City, Foden probably starts all games. Yeah, there's also another thing that's playing in my mind, right? Grealish is out, Stones is out, Kovacic currently injured as well. Bernardo Silva may be playing in that pivot with Rodri, and then Foden goes further up. But Grealish is out, so Foden may play on the left wing. Alvarez gonna play behind Haaland, and then Doku is on the right. So maybe if Foden starts every game, I mean Man City is still the best attack in the league, right? So this is definitely tougher than expected. I'm not sure if I can resist it though. I'm not sure if I can resist it. Right, by the way, if you guys have any more questions surrounding your teams, I mean, I've spoken so much about my team. If you guys have any more questions with your team, let me know and then we'll answer them in the chat. If you guys haven't liked the stream as well, please do like the stream and please subscribe as well. The usual stuff. The usual stuff. I think Madison will be a creative player if Son doesn't get to score. Yeah, I mean Madison, whether or not Son gets to score, Madison is just the more creative player in general. If I'm doing Saka to Son game week 8, is it better to do it now? His price is going to rise. So Saka to Son, I feel, is not a move that needs to be made now. But I get why people would want to do it. I get people that want to do it. I personally wouldn't do it. Saka to Son in game week 8 is I think I would delay it till then. Right, especially if you have Madison. But if you don't, then I mean it's really your gut feel whether you feel like you want to have a Spurs player this game week. In fact, a lot of our transfers are going to be selling good players for better players. And it's pretty much going to be the trend this season. So we're just going to have to deal with the fact that we're just going to transfer out good players in general and there's every potential that it may backfire. Player of the week, Varane, Buemo, Sterling, Son. 5th game week, Son. I don't know. I may give an outside shout. Outside shout. Let's take a look at the fixtures. Maybe one of the Liverpool guys. Maybe Mohamed Salah, to be honest. Maybe Mohamed Salah. And then everyone will talk about him again. Khalid says, may burn a transfer at this point or get Shah or for Saliba or something. I honestly wouldn't. I don't think we I don't think we burn a transfer, right? This even if it's changing our bench options, I just take the chance to do it. Bruno and Foden out for Madison, Son from -4. This is definitely chasing the upside here, this one. I honestly don't think I would. I probably just do Foden out for Madison or Son. I'll keep Bruno Fernandes. Foden for Son. The thing is, if I can guarantee that Foden starts against Forest as well, and he starts against Wolves as well, I think it's a much easier decision to make. Like, I definitely keep Foden. But I think there's a chance he may be rested in one of those games. Then that just backfires. That just backfires, you know? After much overthinking, I'll roll the transfer. Get Shah instead of burning a transfer. I mean, I would only... Okay, I'm definitely not considering selling Eze as I mentioned. So it's whether I do Foden to Son. Honestly, don't think that he will start every game though, if I'm being honest. These definitely feel like games you could be rested in, and then he plays the Champions League, right? Oof. Same boat. If we hear Foden starts, I sell Saka and also replace Jackson with Jesus, so I still have Arsenal cover. Thoughts? I'm okay with Saka to Son. I'm okay with that. It's just I mean imagine this case. Imagine this case that Son doesn't do well against Sheffield United, and we are stuck with him for the Arsenal game. We're stuck with him for the Liverpool game. Would we be okay with that? Right? Would we be okay with that? Jayski says 2 free trades, 2 free transfers, Watkins to Alvarez. I wouldn't bring in Alvarez this game week. Not against West Ham. I don't think that's necessary. Diaby player of the week, Soboslai Hall this week. Potentially. Man, this is alright, okay. Let's just do this. Right, I'll end the stream. I'll have a think about it, and I'll post my team on Twitter. I'll post it on Instagram as well. You guys can follow me, FPL underscore consult. But I think pretty much I've covered all the questions and what I wanted to cover. What I wanted to cover for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'm gonna take a while to decide whether I want to make the move or not. I'll post my team on my socials so you guys can follow. Got the exact same team as you, but Gabriel instead of Colwell. Pretty much locked in Gabriel to Shah. Really considering Eze to Madison. Everything goes through him. I'm assuming you start Gabriel ahead of Colwell, so that one is fine. Oh, but you're selling Gabriel to Shah, so you'll probably start Shah. Considering Eze to Madison, it depends, right? It depends. For my team, I'm not selling Eze because of the rotations later on, but Eze to Madison is fine as well. Don't sell Foden hat-trick today. I feel you will end up doing Foden to Madison. Let's see. I mean, I wouldn't do Madison. I'll do Son. Let's see. Alright, I'll post it on the socials. Thank you guys for joining me. All the best for Gameweek 5. And yeah, let's see whether I make the move or not. Right, I'll catch you guys soon. Thank you guys for joining me. Wanted to stream all the way, but I think I'll take some time. We'll decide. And honestly, the leaks that are coming aren't going to be, I feel, very related to Tottenham or the teams that we want to know, basically. Right, so we're gonna leave it as that. Thank you guys for joining me. And yeah, I'll catch you guys soon. Right, alright, bye bye.